Oh my goodness, you guys. Hello. Okay, I tried to make this video on YouTube Live yesterday because Loom wasn't working. And then I was just going to use Riverside, but I don't trust it ever since it burned me that one time when I was doing the Las Vegas and Natural show recap. So I just quit Loom and I reopened it, but then it closed all my tabs. So it closed all the little photos of everyone I had up. But you know what? I am not going to go reopen those all by myself. We're just going to have to do it together, and that's going to have to be fine. So yeah, I tried to do this on YouTube yesterday and it didn't work because it was just like a screen within a screen within a screen. It creeped me out. So I stopped. It was too much. So we're going to do this again, and we have 2 shows that we're going to recap unless enough time has passed that they have the Spain show photos up. Let's see. We go to npcnewsonline.com and then we go to contests, and no, it's not up. So we're not going to go over that. But let's start with, okay, we have Ben Weider and then we have Japan. So let's start with Ben Weider. So we have our winner, Megan DeGento, and I was so excited for her because, as you know, oops, I already opened all these people. Because as you know, we have been talking about her all year. So I was thrilled to see her win Ben Weider. She totally deserved it. I know there was a lot of discourse around, is she actually natural? It's not possible. Like with 2 years of transformation, she's crazy. And you know what? For a lot of us, yeah, not gonna happen naturally. Other people, gifted. So yeah, I believe she's natural, and I think I get where people are coming from, but also it's like a sport of genetics. So some people just have better genetics than you, and that's the way it is. So yeah, I think some people are acting like losers, to be honest. Okay. And you would lose to Meg. most people would. And I'm specifically talking about people who are like being rude about her. Okay, so we are gonna get into that, and yeah, so it's between her and Lana. I already have her Meg's pictures up. Okay, so we're gonna do it as we go. So let's start with our top 4. So in first place we had Meg, second place Lana, third place Ashley, and then fourth place Carice, fifth place Brittany Ramsey, who went pro at Ben Weider last year. I had to figure out what Carice's name was. So in the green in the center, we have Meg. And in the purple, we have Lana, second place. In third, we have Ashley Scott. In the blue on the left. And then we have Carice in fourth in the blue on the right. So let me just double check that is, yeah, that's the correct placement. Okay. So when I close my eyes and then I open, well, I can't close them right now because I'm trying to zoom in. When I close my eyes and then I open them and I look for who has the least amount of flaws, here I go. Where does my eye go? So my eye immediately goes to Meg right here. Her waist is tiny. Her lat tapers into it like crazy. And the pop she gets on her glute is insane. And notice her pelvis is like tucked. It's not that she's arching her low back like you're seeing in Ashley, like you're seeing in Lana a tiny bit. Maybe actually Meg, it's so exaggerated that she's almost tucking. Lana looks a little more neutral. And then Carice, I think, has a little bit of an arch in her low back. So, yeah, I mean, this is her. And the reason I bring that up is because for most people, when their glutes are underdeveloped, they have to arch their low back to get some extra curve in their front pose to make their glutes pop more. And Meg just doesn't have to do that. Look how meaty this glute is. It's crazy. So, yeah, and she fixed. I wanted her to not do like the crimping thing to her hair. I think it looks cute, but I don't think it looks glam. So I was really, 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 really happy to see that like she upped her makeup, which she did her last show too. But that she upped her hair. Like her hair looked so good. So happy about that. I do think she could have run a brush through it, like in the back pose, but from the front, perfection. So, yeah, my eye goes immediately to her. Is she a little vascular in the arm? Yeah, for sure. And honestly, when I look at this photo of who looks the most bikini in their conditioning and their shape, I think Carice does. So, like, I think based on bikini criteria, who these people are compared against specifically, because that's a lot of bodybuilding, just who you're compared against. I think Carice is the most bikini criteria in this comparison. But that's also probably because Meg just looks freaky. She looks like you would see her at an open show. And she recently got fourth place at an open show. I think it was fourth. Let's double check that. So here is Meg. And yeah, she got fourth at Iron Games. So she just looks like the most Olympian of the people on the stage. And I don't mean any shade because Lana was just at the Olympia this year. But yeah, she looks the most like what bikini girls we see winning because she's looks like them. Like she's more muscular. She has a little bit of vascularity in the arm. We see that on Jazzy when she's gotten third place the past 2 years. Carice, I think she needs a little more size in this a lot, but I think the softness that she has and like the bubbliness to the muscle is very, very, very bikini. And I think Ashley has that same thing, if not better, the conditioning, and the tan looks a little bit smoother on her. She's just missing that upper outer glute, so she doesn't look as shapely as Carice does. So yeah, I think so. When I look at the lineup, I think that Carice looks the most bikini based on the average of this show. But when I think about like who I think should be on an Olympia stage, it's Meg. So that's where I'm at with them. Some things that I think, I mean, like, and I don't think Meg needs to change anything with her front pose. Like, I think it's there. Okay, actually, now that I say that, I'm like, actually, there are some things I would change. So I would angle this knee at the judges a little bit. It's just drifting away, so it looks small compared to the other leg. I would want her to fill out this glute a little bit, like not see that line so deep. Hey, Enzima. Enzima wanted to say hello to you guys. So yeah, I would want her to fill that out. And then, okay. So yeah, I would want her to fill that out a little bit. And I think part of the reason you're seeing that line is because she's tucking her glute. So yeah, she might be able to eliminate that if she just didn't tuck her pelvis so much. And then the arm, I think looks good. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks fine where it is. What would she need to change for the Olympia? Honestly, I would need to see, like, yeah. I went over the Iron Games show where Amy won, so that's her compared to number 4 in the world. So you can just watch that video if you want to know what I think she compares to other Olympians. It's hard to, other like higher level Olympians. It's hard to say in this photo because she just is the only one that looks like this, honestly. So yeah, Lana, moving on, Lana, we lose some of her shoulder here. It looks like the shoulder goes straight into the arm, and I think it's because her arm is drifting so far away. So I would bring that in tighter to the frame. I would add a little bit of an arch in her low back just to get some more shapeliness out of this glute. The purple, I think purple would work. I think velvet does not. I do not like this velvet color. And this is exactly why I say what I do about the velvet colors. With the velvet, it just, when light reflects off of it, it looks white. And that's why we don't put white stones on suits, because it just reflects as headlights, and you want your suit to pop off of you, not melt into you. And this is like, a purple should not be melting into Lana, but this one is. So I would just do like a regular holographic fabric or tricot fabric instead of the velvet. But I think she could try velvet again, purple again, just not velvet. The makeup I think is a little bit more suited to the red suit that she wears, or even if she wore a green. But I'm just seeing and the makeup looks beautiful, but I'm just seeing a lot of like pink and red in the face, and it's competing with the purple. Like, it's almost looking like, yeah, it's almost like, yeah, that's what I'll say. Okay, and then, yeah, I think Meg just blew everyone out of the water at this show. And then third place, we have Ashley. I think our conditioning looks absolutely excellent, and we'll look at the back pose in a sec, and I think that's what got her into third place. The suit totally pops off her. Like, if Lana had a suit with this kind of base fabric, then I think the purple pop up for her. But this is like a great example of how you want the suit to look on you. I think Ashley has the best suit in this lineup, and it's just a good suit, period. But I think like the shape of Meg's suit isn't as flattering. The dark color with how vascular she got in the shoulder, I think just is a little bit too hard in both areas. When you wear a darker suit, and I talk about this with Carrie Sexton all the time, when you are a harder competitor and you wear a darker suit, it just makes you look harder. I would even be okay if she wore the purple velvet. Like, it's not my fave, but I think that would look better on her. It would just pop a little bit more off of her, because this just kind of blends in and not blends in, but just looks harder. It doesn't really pop. So I would have her wear Ashley's suit. That would really pop on her. So yeah, don't adore the suit color, but it did the job. Obviously, she's going to the Olympia, so congratulations. Ben Weider will automatically qualify for you for the Olympia. She doesn't need to win a second show to go to the Olympia. This is like the Olympia of the Natural League. So Ashley's suit, I think it's totally perfect. Tan looks perfect. I think it's hard to say because she's on the side over here, but there are some things I would tweak with the front pose, but we'll look at that when we look at their individual photos. Makeup, spot on. I think it's great. I would like a little more volume in the upper body here, and then we'll go over the front pose itself, like I said. But yeah, I think, yeah, she looks great. And then Carice, she doesn't have the same glow that the other competitors do. So I would just want some more glow and maybe like a little bit deeper on the tan. I think the makeup is pretty. If the tan were darker, we might want the makeup to be a little darker too. So yeah, that's just a polishing thing. And I don't love that we can see the outline of the suit here where it's just fabric and no stones. So that's what I mean when I say Ashley has the best suit on stage. Plus, it's just an incredible suit. Okay, let's look at the... Oh, so why does Ashley beat Carice? I think Ashley's conditioning, it's just poppier and more glowy. I wonder if that's why, at least in the front pose. Let's look at the back pose, and we'll see if I eat my words. So, Carice compared to Ashley. Yeah, I think this amount of pop and the glow is just pushes Carice out. But I think had Carice maybe even had been a little bit tighter in the glutes and had better like tan and glow, then she would have gotten third place. But Ashley just completely nailed it with bikini conditioning. So I would say Ashley and Carice have the most bikini conditioning on stage in terms of this lineup and in terms of what judges say they want. But Meg looks like the Olympian. So why did Lana get second place? I think Lana is just a little bit more complete than Ashley and Carice. And then this is Lana's problem typically. Just not being tight enough in the glutes. And I watched one of her, and I really like Lana, so I hope I don't sound like I'm coming down way too hard on Lana. Lana is a sweetie pie. When I was wondering if I should apply to Chico State, then I reached out to her because she knows about Chico, and she was saying that it's fabulous. So she was just so nice to me. So I like her a lot. Okay. So, and I applied and didn't get in for the rec. So I saw a video of her doing her posing, and okay, it's not still up. What it looked like, unless her coach posted it. So what it looked like to me is she got into her back pose and then turned her feet out and flexed her glutes. So that causes them to be really full at the top, but it smushes them at the bottom and then makes them look softer. So, okay, here we go. So this is her coach. So let's see if he has that video posted. Okay, so here we are looking through his Instagram. Okay, I don't see it. I was just stalling. But yeah, that's what it looked like she did. So we can look at that here. So she looks like very round up here, but kind of soft here. So I think it's because she's like turning and then flexing her glutes. So yeah, elbows are also sticking out a little bit. So I would just straighten the arms and open up the back a little bit. But the tan looks good, I think. So yeah, I think Meg just has a ton of pop in those glutes. I think she could push her chest like an inch forward, like I've said with her before, run a brush through the hair. That's it. Maybe a little bit tight in the hamstrings. So it'll be interesting to see how she looks when she goes to the Olympia. Because the Olympia is in September next year. And since she's natural, the hardest part, from what I understand, is that just keeping the muscle when you're natural is harder. What do I mean from what I understand? Like, that's just true. I act like I've never met a natural person where I'm like, so the alien experiment that I witnessed is that it's harder for them to keep muscle when they're cutting. So no, what I'm getting at is how realistic is it for her to make improvements between now and September? Okay, so when you're natural, let's say after 8 weeks post-show, so you're 8 weeks post-show, then you start to like level out, like hormones start to be in balance again. Okay, so in 2 months, so 8 weeks, that's like December, January. Okay, January. between January and September, you have 10 months or about 9 months. How many are you going to be able to dedicate to, how many will you need to dedicate to cutting? I mean, I would dedicate, even if you're like in pretty good shape, at least like plan for a worst case scenario, especially if you don't have assistance from PEDs, 16 weeks. So 4 months. So out of those 9, 10 months that you have about 5.5, 6 to grow. And a lot of putting on muscle is being able to have time to maintain it after you put it on. Because when you cut, of course, you can keep your protein up, you can keep your training intensity high. And I'm not saying you can't put on any muscle and retain any muscle, but 6 months, 5, 6 months of putting on muscle and being able to cut and then maintain that afterwards. Like, muscle is the first thing your body wants to get rid of when you cut, because it doesn't need it to survive. It needs body fat to survive. So that's why you have to prioritize training intensity and keeping your protein up, because you need to keep as much reason. You need to give your body a reason to maintain the muscle. So you're kind of like tricking it. So yeah, like how much muscle is she really going to put on between now and the Olympia? Hard to say, but she clearly is a genetic freak. So I'm sure she could put on at least some. So yeah, all that to say, I think the difficulty for Meg is just going to be maintaining muscle and hope, fingers crossed, building a little bit for when the Olympia comes. There are some easy posing things and presentation things she can do, like brush through the hair, lean like an inch more forward because the upper body looks a little bit wider than the lower body. That will even it out better. Carice right here is doing a great job of that. So yeah, and then I would say different suit color. So yeah, but why did I bring that up? Because she's a little tight in the hamstrings. That's what spurred me. I don't know the word. That's what prompted me to bring any of that up. So yeah, but super stoked for Meg. Love her look. So okay, that's what I think between her and Lana. Okay, Ashley, perfect conditioning. Looks like she's kind of turning her knees in, and I think that's to minimize her quads, because her quads are still overpowering her glutes a little bit, with her toes totally turned forward. So yeah, long term for her, putting on some more sides than glutes. Whose feedback is that not? Upper back looks like it's pinched. I would open up the upper back, because then it will show the lats tapering into the waist. Right now, she just looks straight up and down and kind of nervous, especially with those knees bent. The hair, I think, looks good. I think it could have a little more richness and depth and color to have better contrast between the tan and the hair. Carice, excellent. Like, she's fabulous. I think her back pose is great. Nothing really to say about that. Could she have been a little bit tighter and then filled out and popped more and gotten like a similar pop to Ashley or to Meg? I think so, but I think she came in looking great. Yeah, I would like to see some more stones on the back of the suit. My suit that I wore last season in 2024, it looked like it didn't really have many stones on the back either, so it could just be, and it was a similar color, so it could just be the nature of the fabric. But yeah. Okay, so that's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. Okay, so let's pull up individual photos. Okay, so Lana does a bunch of stuff with her posing that I would rather her not, but it doesn't seem to be a problem. Okay, so I'm just stalling yet again. Okay, here we go. So we're pulling up her back pose and we're pulling up her front pose. So let's look at people in a vacuum and see what feedback we have. And we shall start with our girl Meg. Congratulations yet again. So what do I think? Everything I already said. She looks even a little bit harder here. The makeup, I think, is pretty. The lip could pop a little bit more, but honestly, if she had the same makeup and a more poppy suit, I think that would be fine. Nothing new to say. She was in the center, so it wasn't very difficult to go over her. Lana, I would do the same thing as I did with the back pose and then bring the arm in tighter. She does have more shape to her arm here, so that's good. And yeah, the makeup's really pretty. I just don't think it goes as great with the suit. And something about the tan looks a little bit muddy. Like something. I think it's this leg. You know, there's obviously like a little mess up in the tan. So yeah, I would just get a more even tan. It's a real shame. Now, do I think that is what set her apart from getting first place? No. But those are just some things for the future to be aware of. Okay. And then we have our girl Ashley. I did pull up these pictures the other day, and I recall that her eyes being closed are unfortunately still the best photo of her front pose. So that's why we're pulling that up. So here we have her in her back pose, which does look a little bit better now that she's not just over on the side, but I still think she could open up her back a little bit more. But conditioning is just really good. Exactly what they say they want in bikini. And this front pose, she does have a lot more shape. So I would even be more profile in the hips so we get a little more of that roundness in the glutes. And she might do that and I might not like it. But I mean, that's just kind of what you have to do. You have to play around with stuff and then see what works best on your specific physique. The makeup, I think, is really pretty. Hair, I would get off the shoulder. And she just needs more size all around, but has really nice volume to the muscle she does have. So excellent, excellent, excellent work. And then we have Carice. So yeah, you guys know I was gooped and gagged when I saw Carice at her show, the AGP Natural show that she won. So yeah, I just think she's absolutely stunned. And then let's look at her back pose. Here she is. Okay. And she might be flexing her glute a little bit too, because you can see this line that separates the glute med from the glute max. So I would relax that a little bit. Maybe I caught her at a bad time. Let's see if I caught her at a bad time. We'll be the judge of that. Okay, yeah, I caught her at a bad time. Here she is. Because her other shoulder, like this shoulder was a little sloped down, and now her shoulder is in place, so that's good. Okay, so front pose, I think just bring the arm in tighter. This shape is absolutely gorgeous. She looks great. She looks like she has a little bit of folding in the skin right here. So another reason I might think either she was a little bit watery, like she had a little bit of water between the tissue of the muscle and the skin. So that's why it's appearing that way, or she just needed to be a hair tighter, and it could really be either. Let's look at the show that she won. And makeup, I think, is beautiful, but I think could have a little more color to it, and same with the tan. But this shape, I think, beats Ashley. I think the back pose loses to Ashley, and it makes you, not to be corny, but like it makes you think maybe shows, in fact, R1 from the back. You know what I mean? So here she was when she got first place, and I liked this suit much better. And let's look at the lower. Yeah, she needed a little more size, but it worked for her. I loved the way she did her hair. She just looked so freaking adorable. I didn't see her smile at the show, but it was pretty cunt, so I don't care. This shape, it's crazy. She's more open up here. The suit, I think, is great. The hair, I'm obsessed with. Hair looked great at the show, too. Was she wearing her was she wearing her hair the same? No, she wasn't. Okay. What'd she look like at Shauna Ray? Okay, she wore the red. The judges might have told her switch the suit, I guess, because, like, why would you switch the suit into the one that she ended up wearing? Yeah, she looks like she might be a little bit softer. So I don't know if she, like, lives in Korea. I think that's where AGP is. I think there are multiple AGP shows. Yeah, but I don't know where she lives, if like the travel made her a little bit watery, but yeah, big fan. Big fan. Okay. Then we have Brittany Ramsey, who, like I said earlier, went pro at the Ben Weider, winning the overall last year. So exciting for her that she is back. And then to get to the show, she won Vegas, the one where I had major problems with screen recording and had to add in photos after the fact. Everyone was like, Sam, who the fuck are you talking about? Because nobody's on the screen. So here's her front pose. Here's her back pose. Okay. So Brittany, I think of makeup, a brighter lip would be good. And the black suit, it just doesn't really pop. Like, it works for her enough, but she is so hard that the black suit, I don't think. When I say works for her enough, I mean she can get away with it. But is it my fave? No. So do a poppier suit. She could really do any color. Just, you know, whatever looks good. The glutes look really good. Like, the shape is really good. She looks great. She just needs a little more muscle overall, specifically in the legs. It's more of a straight line in this quad and this hamstring, but she has a lot of volume up top from her God-given structure. Suddenly I'm a God-fearing woman. So yeah, the lat looks really good. Really nice taper. I just don't see that shape mirrored on the lower body. And that is like what hourglass physique means. It means like the top hourglasses are symmetrical, and symmetry is a big judge criteria. So you want the upper body to be symmetrical to the lower body. Could she open up her hips a little bit more and get better hourglass shape? I think so, but then she would probably lose this glue. So this is what I was talking about with Ashley, like how I'd be curious to see what it looks like if she's more profile on her hips, like Brittany here. I think completely profile is a little extreme for most people anyway, but she could be like a little Ashley could be in between where Brittany is and where Ashley is now, and vice versa. Like, Brittany could do the same thing. But would they both lose some glue, or would Brittany lose a little glue? Yeah. Would Ashley gain a little glue? Yeah. Would it be better than the look they brought? We can't know. Okay, hopefully that made sense. So yeah, I would just like more volume. The back pose structure shape looks really good. It looks better than the front pose. So yeah, I think with her, other people just had some more muscle and more volume to their muscle. Okay, and that's been Weider. So congratulations to everyone who competed. Okay, let's see. Do I have anything up that I shouldn't? I don't know. Guess no. Okay, so this is, tell me I opened the right thing. Let me pause it and just make sure. Okay, open the right thing. So, now we're going to talk about Japan, and our girl, Sally, won. You know I'm obsessed with Sally. You know I'm obsessed with Sally. Okay, so Miss Sally Ann Cato won. Let's pull up the photos. So these comparison photos weren't as great as like the Ben Weider photos, but we're going to pull them up anyway. So in first place, Sally Ann is wearing the green. In second place, we have on the left, Uyanga. Third place, we have Zinyi, and on the right, in the red. And then fourth place, we have Nataya in the center, in the blue. And you guys, if you've been watching my channel, you know I'm obsessed with Nataya. I love her look. I love her. I'm just obsessed. Like, I'm obsessed. She's been in Olympia a couple times. I'm obsessed with her. Sally Ann, also obsessed with her. This was an exciting show for me. So, Sally Ann just... What even must I say? She just knocked it out of the motherfucking park. She's just so good. She looks so good. Oh, I love her. Okay. Uyanga, second place on the left. Okay, let me do my thing. So I open my eyes, and then who's my eye drawn to, and who has the least flaws? Okay. My eye is drawn to, honestly, for a Bikini, Sally Ann in the green. But in general, this whole lineup is really, really good. Like, everyone has a beautiful fullness to the muscles. The glow on everyone looks good. And Nataya could use a little bit more, but I just, love Nataya, so my eye goes to her because I love her. And Nataya's a little straight on. I've seen her pose better than this or different from this, so we'll look at individual photos and see if she does this consistently. But I think Sally Ann just has incredible volume to the muscles, and I think what edged out Uyanga is this roundness that Sally Ann has in the lower body. She's just more symmetrical from top to bottom than Uyanga. Uyanga's glute just kind of slopes down and makes more of a straight line, and you want to have that roundness and fullness to the entire physique, and I think that's where Sally edges her out. Both of them were at the Olympia, and Sally Ann got 14th. So, obviously she's really good. There were, almost 70 people at the Olympia this year. So, yeah, I goes directly to her. My eye next goes to Uyanga because this glow, the pop she has, you can see the pop in this leg and this quad here. It's just incredible. Her shoulder width is really good. And then Zinyi, how many times can I talk about her front pose? Watch any of my other videos I've gone over her in. But the angles are just off, and she could pose way better, and then she could have edged out Sally, maybe. I mean, it would be tough. Especially because I haven't even seen her in what I would consider the proper pose to be. But yeah, I think Sally is very, very tough to beat. But I think Zinyi could have pushed Sally and then come as high as second place. Nataya, she's just a little straight on, and she's always a little bit quad heavy, so I think that's what puts her in fourth place. It's just a less bikini, but still a very, very, very impressive physique. Okay, let's look at the back pose. Here we are. Okay, so the back pose, Zinyi knocks it out of the park. She is in center here, splitting center with Sally, and this is one of the reasons I say she can push Sally. She's just a little too detailed in the hamstring, but very crazy look that you just want to look at. Uyanga, super bubbly, the definition of bubbly. She's on the right. She looks unreal. I think she could relax her shoulders a little bit because they're overpowering her lower body a little bit, and I don't think she needs to turn her toes out as much. So we'll look at them individually and see if I still believe that. She's on the end, so it's hard to tell. And then Sally Ann, I think, just slays. She looks incredible. She's reverting back to some posing things that she used to do that I wanted her to change. And then she did change those things for the Olympia. But those things are that her toes are turned out really wide. Are turned out a lot. And then her stance is really wide. So she looks way wider on the lower body than she does on the upper body, which takes away from hourglass shape. But since she's so freaky and has such gorgeous bubbliness to her muscles, like I always say, is very similar to Maureen, what I would consider her best. Yeah, like Sally Ann is someone I think I would love to see win the Olympia. I think she just needs her glutes to be a little bit bigger and just to like consistently do these posing things that make her look more balanced. And then I think she could win. Are there politics involved that might prevent it? Yeah, I think maybe. Like I used to not think so. I think so more and more now. But yeah, Sally Ann, I'm just gobsmacked by how incredible she looks. Like I'm amazed. She is gorgeous. Like this is bikini to me. Like I'm obsessed with this. The glutes need to be a little bit bigger, so that's a long-term thing. And then pose down the legs a little bit because she's like posing them up a lot, making them look bigger than her glutes. Yet her glutes are still very prominent. So it's just like easy posing things and then long-term building a little bit more muscle. So she needs to win one more show and then she'll be qualified for the Olympia. So let's get Sally qualified ASAP so she can take some time and build her glutes a little bit. So yeah, but I think that Uyanga has the second best bikini conditioning at this show. Potentially a little bit soft just based on this picture, which isn't the best. Uyanga Xinyi is just a little bit too tight in these legs. So yeah. And then Nataya, same things I already said. I don't think there was a way that she was going to move up, honestly. Okay. And let's look at everyone individually. Okay. Well, let's start with our girl, Sally. So yeah, this shape is just killer. It's killer. The arm could be brought in tighter to the frame, but that is the only thing that I have to say about her. Front pose, hair, makeup, Sue are all fabulous. Yeah, front pose I think is perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. Back pose, same things I said, and you can see it better here, like because it's closer up. So yeah, could she straighten the arms a little bit so they just don't point out? I think maybe a little bit. So I would love to see. Okay. And then, actually let me leave that up because we might pull Uyanga and her up next to each other because we didn't see them in their front poses next to each other. Okay. So that's our girl, Sally. And then we have Uyanga. So here is, that's her name, right? Yeah. Okay. Uyanga. Here she is. I think the red is super, super pretty. Oops. The red is super pretty. And then, who is Enzima asking to go check his trunk? I just heard him open his trunk. Let's see. Let me look out the window and I'm going to find out. Ready for me to snoop? You're going to see me snoop live on television. Okay. I'm looking and I don't know who it is. Must be his friend. Okay. I mean, obviously. Okay. So here is... Okay. Uyanga. So she's arching her low back, and then here you see the risk of arching your low back, which is those ribs popping out a little bit. So when you do that, you have to make sure you're keeping your ribs in and down, like trying to tuck your ribs into your connectors, basically. Otherwise they jut out like this. And I think she's doing a really good job with the angle of her front pose, like posing it away, like more profile, because she has a ton of shoulder width. Like you can see in the back pose, she's kind of pinching her shoulder blades, yet her shoulders are still super, super wide. So I think this is a very smart move. The little bit of hair on the shoulder, very smart move. Makeup, I think it's spot on. I think she needs more projection to the upper glute, especially because her shoulders are so freaking full. Like they are bursting full. It reminds me of Ariana Brothers. Let me pull up Ariana Brothers. Here she is at the Olympia. Oh, the purple is cute too. Okay. Olympia. Ariana. Here she is. So Ariana has like very full shoulders. They look less full there, honestly. In the back pose, they look particularly full. Whoa. Not on this show though. Sorry, I didn't mean that in a bitchy way. Okay. So yeah, very full. This is what I'm talking about. And then in her back pose, and I think it's partially because sometimes she doesn't come in quite lean enough because she doesn't look as balanced when she's too lean. So yeah, that's what I mean with the shoulders, if you can see that. Okay. So anyway, here is her back pose. I think it's great. I think she could maybe point her toes a little bit more forward, but then she still, like, because I think it's making her glutes look smaller. She also could be a little softer in the hamstrings here. But then she'd probably be sacrificing her glutes. Like, they might look soft. Does Nsima have, like, a whole party? Who's he saying hi to? Anyway. Okay. So yeah, then back poses. Yeah, just more pop and projection from Sally. They both have really beautiful shoulders. Like their shoulders look similar. Yeah. Sally has a little bit of that detail in her hamstrings too. So yeah, they were very comparable. I think you just see that roundness and like density in Sally's glutes more. It's crazy. Cuckoo bananas. Okay. And then let's go their front poses next to each other. Okay. Yeah. More filled out. Just more hourglassy. Like, yeah. There's no two ways about it. Sally just wins. And Bianca looks great. Okay. Let's look at the third place. Okay, here's third place, I think. Yes. Okay, Zinyi. Our girl. Okay, let's look at the front pose. We just have to wait. Oh, one of my favorite dogs is walking outside. It's a little whippet dog. So cute. Okay, so front pose, I think you tell me what she needs to change. I agree. Okay, here's her back pose. So, back pose, killer. She should point her toes more forward because her quads are overtaking her glutes a little bit. And she might be even flexing her hamstring. So I would relax that. Front pose, she just needs to angle away. She's very open up in the hips, and she's already a little bit lower body dominant. I would build up her lat because her upper body looks small. It just looks like a gap, like a negative space in the middle of her physique. Her lower body's super crazy developed, very full shoulders, and then it just looks like a void down the center. So I would angle the hips away, not point this toe directly at the judges because we totally lose the hamstring. So have the foot at a 45 degree, hips at a 45 degree, arms straight at the side. I mean, we just have to see it. Like, she's been doing the same pose and honestly, it gets me riled up because she's already so fucking good. She could just be better. It frustrates me, to be honest. I feel like you can probably hear the frustration in my voice, so I just have to call it out. That is what's going on. Now I'm going to show you what she used to pose like 2 years ago. It's the same thing. As the physique develops, we need to develop our our pose too. And like, she had the same attributes during this time. So girly pop, please, I'm begging. Okay. And then why does she beat Natalia? So I think that, probably the back pose. Like, I think they have similar weaknesses in their front poses. Okay, so here's the front pose. I think they have similar weaknesses. Like, the lower body is overpowering the upper body. I would like to see more roundness in this shoulder. I think the back pose is good. I think she could open up her shoulders a little bit. This one is sloping down. It's probably because that slopes down her front pose. Or like that's the one she brings around for her front pose and then not point the elbows back so much. I think if Natalia fixed her pose, just like wider throw the shoulders, straighten the arms so we don't see like the elbows pointing at us so much, and then open up this shoulder a little bit, then I think she could have potentially beaten Zinyi. But I think it just came down to Zinyi looking a little bit more impressive. I don't know. I think it was probably... Yeah, Zinyi, the taper into the knee, glute to knee, is a little bit better, but I thought her legs looked like they were overpowering still. So, I don't know. It was probably tough between them. Both of them are very good. Both of them were just at the Olympia. Oh, let's look at Natalia. Oh, yeah. I think she needs more volume in the shoulders because this is flattening out quite a bit. But, big fan. Let's see what her back pose looked like at the Olympia. I never looked at her photos. Oh, wow. Could be a little bit softer, but I think this was a little better. She's pushing her butt back too much. Her glutes. Okay. And then in fifth place, A-Song Moon. We love A-Song. Okay. Let's look at her. So A-Song has gorgeous hourglass shape. I believe she's natural too. So I am surprised. Did she not do a natural qualifying show? I was sure she did. Maybe it was just like last year. Okay. No, maybe she's not natural anymore. But she qualified for it. No, she must have qualified for, yeah. Okay, she must have qualified for it last year because it happens in mid-November. I'm not sure. I think she has fabulous hourglass shape. She's just not as muscular, but that's what most of the natural people are like. I think she needs more size in the glutes so we get more taper down into the knee. But the pose is good. I would slide the arms in, the hands in on the legs a little bit more because it's creating a lot of gap. But other than that, this is great. The front pose, super hourglassy. Maybe a little quad dominant, but I think it's just because she needs to build the glute a little bit. I mean, I think she looks fabulous. So the people above her were just more muscular, I think, because this posing is really, really nice. She could angle the hips away a little bit more and get a little more glute and then a little more extreme proportion. But yeah, I think she looked great. The pink is not always my fave, but I think it looks cute on her, and it probably looked poppier in person. I think this background is kind of washing it out in the photos. So let me know what you guys thought of the shows this weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.